I guess I was never like a particularly small child, and towards the end of primary school, the other kids in class started teasing me, and that's when I started eating more. It was the only thing there for me. It didn't put any pressure on me, and I was constantly moving, so I felt like I could take it with me. And I think that stems from the fact that I remember a time when food wasn't there, when my mum wasn't able to feed me. But it must have been hard for her. She must have struggled to care for us both because she struggled so much to care for herself. My name's Holly, I'm 17. I've been in care since I was really little, about 3. I've been in tons of foster homes over the years. I was moved around so much that I never really had anywhere I could call home. Everyone was really nice. Some of my foster parents tried really hard to make me feel part of the family, but sometimes, with a few of my placements, I just kind of felt like a spare part. Especially when they had children, I just felt like it didn't fit in, like, the family. I remember one specific family, there was a boy. He was a little bit older than me. He was very much like a mummy's boy and was like, "Mum this, Mum that." And it was kind of like a constant reminder that mine wasn't there anymore. Sometimes I felt like all I could hear was, "Mum, Mum, Mum." I would say I've probably had mental health issues from a young age. It wasn't until secondary school that I became fully aware. Somebody came in and did a talk in our PHSE lesson about mental well-being and stuff like that. I literally dug my nails so deep into my palms, I thought they were going to bleed. I remember praying that she wouldn't ask me anything because I didn't know what I would say. I actually thought I was going to cry. I think it was in year 7, so I would have been 11. Towards the end of secondary school, I started feeling really overwhelmed because I had exams and I was also going to be moving into an independent flat once I turned 16. You know, when it came to bills, budgeting, stuff like that, I didn't have a clue. I don't think I understood what it would be like to be living on my own. Just me against the world. And that's when I started to lose control. I just really didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't get out of bed, I started missing school. I used to walk around by myself and avoid being seen by anyone. I also turned to the thing I trusted the most and I started eating more. It got really bad as the months went on. And then one day I came home and I saw my social worker and my foster mum sat on the sofa. My immediate reaction was to go back out because when a social worker comes, it's never good news, is it? But this time it seemed different. She didn't have that fake, "I've got some bad news for you" smile that I've seen so many times before. It seemed like she wanted to help me. Her whole manner and tone was different. It was more like an adult-to-adult conversation. She mentioned CAMHS and my first reaction was, "What's that?" I'd never heard of it before. But when she told me about what they do, I felt like maybe this was a place where I could be me and finally get the help I need. I swear, I'd probably never been so nervous in my life, not even when I start a new foster placement. I remember standing outside the door and I just couldn't bring myself to just walk in. Something was holding me back. Then the receptionist came to the door and let me in. So that was that. I was in. The support worker I was introduced to was a lady who was only a few years older than me. And she was really nice. We sat down in her office. We talked a lot, but she didn't push me to open up. There was just a freedom to say what I wanted and what I felt like I needed to say. She suggested a few coping mechanisms for my anxiety and other stuff. I really liked the one about a positive notebook and writing down your achievements throughout the day or week. She also gave me a number to call if I was ever feeling low or suicidal. She was supportive, I guess. Right at the beginning, I was nervous to explain everything. It all came out because it was more like a conversation rather than just being asked questions and having to answer them. It took a while, but I did start to feel better. I think CAMHS really helped me to focus on myself and what I was feeling, which is something I'd avoided in the past. They offered me a gym membership. I remember at first being quite skeptical because I don't really like exercising, but we'd spoken about how losing weight could help with my mental health, so I thought I'd give it a go. It was after that I discovered a love for running, but now I prefer to run outside. I like the freedom of being able to run wherever I want. It's almost like a form of escapism. It helps me to calm down and keep focus. I still go back weekly to CAMHS, and it sounds stupid, but it gives me a structure and it helps me to focus. And they're helping me to plan ahead, so now moving into an independent flat seems way less scary. So I've started college. I'm doing a media makeup course. And I think being creative is something that helps with my mental health. I've also made a friend, and I don't make friends easily. I find it hard to let people in, but we just clicked. It's kind of nice to have somebody to do ordinary things with. Like, we walk home from college together, she comes around my flat and I practice my makeup on her. And the best thing about it is we can just hang out and have fun. I had no one to turn to and felt alone. But it takes time to make changes, and I can finally see a future for myself.